sharing my screen. Let me see if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen.
Nice. Okay, so we'll start with your website.
Okay. Actually, why I was saying website is because, I have to get some changes done. So,
Yes,
it will be easier if I understand, and then accordingly I can suggest the changes.
right. I can, okay,
Healthroots.in.
.in, yes. So this is the only reason I suggest people to go for .com.
Yeah, actually, we were not finding .com in
Yes,
any
I
of.
can understand. It's all fine. It's nothing wrong with it. This is the only reason whenever we are saying someone to open my website, and if you are not specifically saying that .in, .org, .info, by default people will open .com.
.com. Absolutely.
Yes. So, yeah, this is the only reason we look for .com. Otherwise, if your audience is in India, then .in is a factor in ranking.
Okay.
.in that .in will give a clue to the Google that this website is more relevant to Indian audience.
Correct.
So it's all perfectly fine, nothing wrong in that. Okay. Okay. So here we have a website. I'm just giving you that from it's including three things. Whatever we will discuss about the website, it's not only website optimization. We are going to include three things. So whatever we are going to discuss, this is to make our website relevant and ready for Google first. Our website should be ready to, when Google is coming, our website should be ready for Google, like crawling and indexing and ranking, or Google should understand our website. From that point of view, we are going to discuss today. Right. Second, our website should be ready to handle the footfall. If user is coming, if human beings are coming, means if robots are coming, they should be able to understand our website perfectly fine. And if humans are coming, they should also able to understand our website perfectly fine. So these are the major context we are going to discuss today. So technically we can give a lot of name to it. Technically we can say that we are going to discuss website optimization, on-page SEO, off-page SEO. There are so many technical words we can use. I will give you the checklist. You can hand this checklist over to your developer and designer, and you can ask them, okay, I want this to be implemented on my website in the technical term. Right.
Okay.
But conceptually, you have to understand it. Ultimately, this website is for the end user.
Right.
Right. And there is a way to reach out those end user is Google. So your website should be ready for Google as well as for the end user.
Okay.
Always keep in mind that whatever changes you are doing on your website, do you want, is this website is adding, is those changes are adding value to your end user or not? The first question is this make means you can understand yourself whenever you are spending time on any website, you lost the track of time. Sometime we go to the YouTube and we lost the track how much time we have spent on that platform. So that should be your end goal.
Okay.
So if someone is coming on my website, they should lost the track of the time. So that kind of information, that kind of product recommendations, related products, or like previously when they have visited, what pages they have visited, or these kind of uniqueness, this kind of warm feeling they should find that, okay, this website is taking care of me as an individual. Right. Technically, how you are going to apply it, it's going to take some time. But you should have clarity that, okay, this is possible. I am just sharing that it's possible to make your website as warm as possible for your end user.
Okay.
Right. So first, and I will share this checklist with you as well. I will share this right now. I'm going to discuss it, but I will share this list with you as well.
Okay.
Right. So first, on the digital medium, first thing, the most important thing, you should have clarity about the language of your end user.
Okay.
Right. So when I'm talking about language of your end user, I mean to say that in technical term, we termed it as a keyword or key, it's a keyword or key phrase. Key phrase or query. You can give any name to it, but ultimately, whatever language you are using, it's not necessary that your end user is using the same language.
Okay.
So when you are talking about, let's suppose you have this health route and you are saying shop by health interest. Right? But your end user might be looking for disease.
Okay.
So now you have to understand whether it should be the health interest or whether shop by issues, shop by health issues, or shop by diseases, or like you have to understand whether you are talking the same words which your end user is saying or not.
Okay.
Right. So when you have the list of those words, you can use those words throughout your digital presence. It's not only your website. Even you are creating any kind of digital presence, your Facebook, your email, or your blog post, we have to use the same kind of language throughout the digital presence.
Okay.
So your keyword should be the guiding light. Your keyword should be the end goal. Your keyword should be the establishing the relevancy between your website and your end user.
Okay.
So those words are the reason your website exists. You should have collection of those words. Right. So how you are going to collect those keywords? So you have to make an Excel sheet. You can ask your developer or whoever is working on that. You can make an Excel sheet. You can make a list of URL, and for every URL, 1 or 2 root keyword. Root keyword means main keyword. Primary keyword means the most important keyword for that. If you have to summarize entire page in 1 or 2 words, so what will be that word? So if I have to summarize this entire home page, so I can summarize it as a herbal remedies. Right. So I have to summarize this entire page. What word is the most, that you have to find the way you are using those words, and your end user is also using the same word.
Okay.
So there should not be disconnect. Here you are talking about health interest. Is your end user is talking about health interests in the same context? Right. So it's the page 2. So in the same way, it's a page 3. So this is a different URL. You can say that this is called URL.
Okay.
So this entire page should be summarized in 2-3 words. Herbal remedies for migraine. So now you can understand the home page is about herbal remedies. Your main category page was about herbal remedies for all kind of diseases. Now your particular disease page is about herbal remedies for migraine. Right. So that way you have to make a checklist, a kind of URL and their main keyword. When I'm saying root, I mean to say that main keyword.
Okay.
So you should have clarity. This page is about this keyword.
Okay.
This is going to help you to to your developer, to anyone. Okay, throughout the page, I have to use this keyword in different way.
Okay.
Right. So
and is it important to use these all these keywords in the title, or we can use it anywhere?
Anywhere.
Okay.
Right. So ideally, how you are going to use it, that you're the main keyword, root keyword, we will contextually you will use at the most important places. But if you have overall idea, if you will add some suffix, if you will add some prefix, if you will add some synonyms, spelling I will correct it and then I will share you. Semantically related, semantically related. So all these are collection for one URL. This is the collection of URL 1. Right.
URL 1
means
page 1.
URL 1 is page 1. Let's suppose this is for home page. So in the same way, you will collect the keyword ideas for URL 2. This URL 2 can be for your health interest. Right? Your URL 3 can be for migraine. So that way, this is your guiding light. This is your every 3 to 6 months, you can go and revise it, that whether you are going in the right direction or not.
Okay.
So whether you need to change those keywords, whether we will give you that how you are going to check it. But first, you have to get a start with this. Right? So you can ask your developer designer to make a list of all the URL and give me the related keywords.
Okay.
You can go through that checklist and you can understand that whether those keywords are reflecting your idea, reflecting your product, reflecting your content or not. Is this the language? Is this connection between those keywords and people are searching and what you are providing as a content?
Okay.
So how they will do it? They will do it. There are so many tools. Simply the simplest one I'm going to share with you right now is the keywordtools.io. So here you can start with Google. This is one of the tool, and there are so many other tools. Whoever is doing website optimization for you, they know that.
Okay.
Right? So this is one of the tool. I'm going to Herbal Remedy. Herbal Remedy. Is this spelling correct?
Yes.
Yes. And this is in India. I want how many people are searching in India.
Okay.
Right. If you want to change the country, you can change the country.
Okay.
Right. So this is one of the tools. There are so many others tools, KW Finder and Google Keyword Planner and Word Tracker. So there are so many other platforms which will give you a lot of idea about such related keywords.
Okay. So will you share the list with me?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
I will share the list with you.
Fine.
This is one of the tool. Sorry. I should. This is one of the tool, and in the same way, there are so many others tool. So ideally, they are going to give you what your end user is searching. They will give you the glimpse of the language of your end user. Right now, we are thinking of herbal health root and all that, but your end user is looking for herbal remedies for constipation, or herbal remedy for cough, or herbal remedy for oil. These are the words people are searching.
Okay. So
now you will have the list of the keywords. Let's suppose you have this list. I'm not going through the detail, but right now I'm just collecting those keywords. There are 216 keywords here. I can copy this keyword, right? And suppose I'm pasting it here. Right? Now you have to do the keyword mapping. If you have collected 216 keyword and all those keywords, one thing is 100% sure, the root is what? Root keyword is herbal remedy.
Herbal.
Yes, herbal remedy is your root keyword. Herbal remedy is defining your entire website. Right. So this is the root keyword. That's why we have taken. Now you can map this keyword, keyword mapping, URL and keyword mapping.
Okay.
I mean to say that there may be specific pages for constipation remedies. There may be a specific page for cough. So this constipation, cough, oil, insomnia, acidity should not go to your home page.
Okay.
These keywords should map to the respective pages.
Okay.
So in one hand, you have the list of the URL. On the other hand, you have the list of the keyword people are searching. You can map these keyword to the respective URL.
Okay.
Right. So now this is give you the guiding light. Okay, my page, end user is searching for these words. So now I have to use these keyword along with some. These will become your main keyword. This will become your root keyword for that respective keyword. So if you have anything about like joint pain, back
There's a
pain.
back pain.
Yes. So here you might have one page related to the joint pain. So their joint pain, back pain will become your root keyword, but there it will become your main keyword. But there also you can add some suffix prefix.
Like chronic pain
That
and
will
long.
Yes. Yes. So that will become your main pages, but in that particular page, you are open to add some suffix, prefix, and synonyms and semantically related keyword. Right. So this is the one thing you can revise at least every. You can revise it every 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
Every 3 to 6 months, I will show you in Google Analytics and Google Webmaster. I will show you as your website will become visible, you start getting some stats.
Okay.
So stats like for which keyword your website is coming on top, people are clicking on there or not, how much time they are spending, whether they are taking the desired action you have planned or not. So you can see that stats, and you can see that whether whatever you have decided, is this giving you that same result or not.
Okay.
If you find any gap, you can go and revise those keywords for every page. Okay. So this is, you can say that this is a continuous job to improve. Let's suppose you start coming for the first 3 keywords. Now you want to come for a more general keywords. So as your website visibility will increase, you can accommodate more and more keyword. Initially, you have to keep that bottom up approach. This is called bottom up approach. Bottom up approach. What I mean to say that bottom up approach, start with long tail keyword. Start with long tail keyword. When I'm saying start with long tail keyword, I mean to say that target means expect that initially your keyword, your website might not be coming for herbal remedy, but you can start with your website must be coming for herbal remedies for constipation during pregnancy. Okay. So that is the long tail keyword. Now this is very specific. Someone is looking for constipation, someone is looking for pregnancy, and someone is looking for herbal remedy. So you have to start with those kind of. Now this number of searches will be very less. In such cases, if someone is searching for that long keyword, the number of searches will be comparatively less. But their competition is also very less. Okay. So you have to target those keywords having most business logic keyword. Characteristic should be business logic. Business logic, I mean to say, when I'm saying business logic, I mean to say that you are providing the products, you are providing the solution for that. Business logic means if someone is looking for it and coming to your website, they don't feel okay, they have landed on wrong website. Okay. Means you are promising something in the keyword, but they're landing on your page and they're finding, okay, it's not the right page. So that means the business logic means if you are targeting those keywords, means you have solution for that thing. Okay. You have to offer something on that. Okay. Right. Decent search volume. Decent search volume means number of searches. People should be searching for that. Here you can see that initially you can see the number of search volume. So on an average, how many people are searching for that keyword? Okay. So if we will go for simply herbal remedy, so many people are searching for it. But when you are going for herbal remedy for constipation, number of searches will decrease.
110 is the number. Only 110 are looking.
110 in last one day in India might be. Okay. So you have to apply the filters. We will apply the filter in India, in a particular locations, in particular period. So that is showing the numbers. You can see also the trend. Like if it is saying you trend, so it might be showing you per month. Okay. Right. So even if you have the 100 searches, even if you have the 100 plus searches, is good to go. Okay. 100 plus is happening, it's good to go.
Okay.
But those 100 are specific. They are clear about what they are looking for.
Right.
Right. Even someone is looking for herbal remedy, they are not clear that what they are looking for. So initially, it's better to target who is clear, who is ready, who is desperate to connect with you.
Okay.
And gradually, as you will increase the visibility for these keywords, you will increase the visibility of long tail keyword, gradually your website for generic keyword will start coming.
Okay.
Right? So this is the basic thing we have to keep in mind while optimizing. What kind of optimization you are doing, whether you are giving the category name or page name or a URL or image name or heading or paragraph heading or list or caption or like whatever, wherever there is a possibility to write the text on your entire website, whether that text is visible to your end user or not doesn't matter.
Okay.
So if there is a button called, buy now button, right? So in that buy now button, rather than writing, if that buy now button name is not visible to the end user, it doesn't mean whatever name you are giving to it. It's not. Means your developer designer should have this idea in mind, wherever they are using the words on that particular page, they have to keep these words in mind.
Okay.
And wherever it making sense, means if you are writing the paragraph heading, if you are writing the page heading, if you are writing the image caption, if you are writing the URL, if you are writing the category name, you are writing the subcategory name, wherever you are writing some text, so you have to keep in mind, you should not write any irrelevant text. Whatever making sense, use your common sense and use those common sense keywords there.
Okay.
Right. So by default, this will take care of your 40 to 50% of the SEO.
Okay.
By default, you are doing on-page SEO. If you are keeping this factor in mind, you are doing on-page SEO.
Okay.
Right. So having said that, you got the little bit of idea about the keyword.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, yes.
Right. So now you can apply how, yes. So now how you can apply those keywords throughout the website.
Okay.
Now we have got the end, we have got the clarity that where I want to go, but now you have to place a strategy to achieve that.
Okay.
Right. So in the strategy, you can optimize, let's suppose if you are writing title. So you need not to go into that. I have written it. You can go through it and your developer can go through it. But the idea is that you can use keyword in title.
Okay.
This is the most important thing.
Okay.
So these, whatever I have mentioned here, these are the strategically important places. For example, let's suppose I'm talking right now and I'm giving more emphasis on particular keyword. So my pitch is getting high. So that way I'm going to communicate you, this is important. Right. So in the same way, when we are creating a website, I have to reflect the same kind of emphasis on particular kind of keyword to the end user and to the Google.
Okay.
But how we can do it? We will strategically place those keywords in the important places.
Okay.
Right. One of the most important place is placing those keywords in SEO title.
Okay.
Right. So SEO title is, for example, I'm looking for healthroots.in. Let's suppose I'm looking for healthroots.in in Google. I'm looking for your website name directly. And purposely I'm removing this dot so that it's feel like I'm looking for your website, but not, I don't know exactly your website. So your website is coming. This is called title, SEO title. This is called SEO title. This is called SEO title. This is called SEO title. Right. So now every single page. So every single page of your website have a proper title using the respective keyword.
Okay.
So every page have a unique and a related title for that particular page. Let's suppose you want to know how many pages you have. There is a command called site:URL, and this will give you the list of all the pages. There are 33 pages on your website.
Okay, what is the site?
Site:URL. So here you can know the list of the URL. If you want to know the list of the URL, here you can site:URL in Google. Search site:URL in Google.
Okay.
So this will give you the list of all those Google index pages.
Okay.
Google indexed pages. Google indexed pages means Google is working in 3 steps. Google is not dependent on you that you have created the website and now you go to the Google and submit your website and pray to the Google, okay, I want my website to come into the result. Google is not waiting for you. Google is proactively going to a different website and collecting the information and creating its own database. Right. So the entire process is called crawl, index, and rank. This entire Google work is crawl, index, and rank. Crawl, index, and rank. So this is how Google has crawled your pages.
Okay.
If you want to know how your page is appearing in Google database, let's suppose I want to know how this page is stored in Google database.
Okay.
So first Google has came to your website. So Google landed on this page, right? Google landed on this page and collected all the information. Google created a copy of this page in its own database.
Okay.
So this is how Google is collecting all the information on its own database.
Okay.
So first step, wherever Google will find any link, wherever Google will find this link, Google try to go to that link.
Okay.
So not sure from where Google had find it, but Google has found your website's 33 pages.
Okay.
Google has already discovered 33 pages of your website. So that is crawling.
Okay.
Right? And created a replica of these 33 pages in its own database. That is called index.
Okay.
So if you want to know how this index is appearing, for example, here this page is about health route, this page is about this particular, this page is about the herbs, this page is about shop, this page is about services. So this, I want every URL should have more better, more meaningful, including the keyword and more like communicating, more expressing title here.
Okay.
So rather than shop, it can be herbal remedy shop. So rather than herbs, it can be herbal remedy solution through like health solution through herbs. So you have to go and identify the keyword for all these URL. And using that keyword, write unique title. That title should be more meaningful. So right now, only services, only blog, only herbs. Can it be better? Do you feel it can be better?
Yes, we can add. Better? Yes.
Yes. So that way you have to make this title better. And if you want to know how Google has indexed this, here you can go and see the cache pages.
Okay.
And you can see that last time Google has visited this page on 26th January 2021.
Okay.
This is the Google. This whatever you are seeing here. This is the this is the version stored on the Google database.
Okay.
So if you have done any changes on this website after 26th January, Google don't know about that changes.
Okay.
So if you have changed it, Boswellia, DAS, herbal extract to make you stress-free. I don't know what this used for, but you are saying Boswellia dash
Pain, for
stress
pain.
pain relief extract. So you have done that after going through the classes and you realize that, okay, I have to make the title more meaningful. I have to include the keyword. I have to make it healthy inflammatory things as a bold, italic, underline. I have to make link from here to another pages. So I will give you all the checklist. You have done all those changes. But if Google don't know about that changes, that will not increase the visibility till the Google has not crawled the pages.
Okay.
So the first step is you are understanding, you are getting all those things, and you are doing all the changes. Now you have to inform to the Google, I have done major changes. Now my crawl again and understand and make my website more visible to my audience.
Okay. And how can we do that?
Yes, we will discuss it in, it's a Google Webmaster. There is a platform. You can communicate regarding your website working in the Google. You can communicate with the Google directly.
Okay.
So that platform is going to give you that how many pages Google has crawled, how many pages Google has indexed, on which keyword you are coming on rank, how many clicks you are getting, whether the people are searching, opening this website on mobile or desktop. All the stats Google will give you regarding your website in Google Webmaster.
Okay.
So you have to verify that you are the owner of the website.
Okay.
The precondition is you have to verify that you own the website. To do that verification, Google will give you a small code and you have to place that code on your website. Google will come back and check that, okay, the code is there. That means you are the owner.
Okay.
And then Google will give you the access of all those stats. Right. So here the sequence wise, if you will go to the sequence, first step, make a list of the URL. Map all the keywords, whatever. Don't go for the perfection, don't go for that wait, okay, all the keyword I will select. Whatever is making sense to you, start using those keywords in the respective pages. Make a list of the URL corresponding keywords and start using those keywords at the important places.
Okay.
Right. Once you have done the changes, do the webmaster verification. Your developer will do it. It's not a big deal. They can easily do it. They will do the webmaster verifications, and now you can submit all the changes. Like you have done the changes, you have to submit this URL that is called sitemap.xml. Here I am talking about Google Webmaster verification. First, you have to do the Google Webmaster verification and submit sitemap.xml. Sitemap.xml. So sitemap.xml is the list of all the URL which you want to send to the Google for crawling, indexing, and ranking.
Okay.
So as a pro, now you know how Google works. So you are taking proactive action, that you are making a list of all the pages which you want Google to consider, crawl, and index, and then you are submitting that file to the Google.
Okay.
So that submission happened in the Google Webmaster only.
Okay. So basically we are submitting all the keywords.
All the URL, website URL. Keyword we are applying on our web pages.
Okay,
keyword
understood.
Keyword is our seed and we are applying on the pages. After application, we want to reconsider my pages.
So we go for verification. Yes.
Yes, we will go for verification and then submit this file to the Google.
Okay. Okay.
This is the list of the, you can say that this is the list of the URL and you are submitting this list to the Google. These are my pages.
Okay.
Now crawl it, index it, and rank it.
Okay.
Right. Just opposite to that, you have to submit robot.txt. Robots.txt. What is that? In particular page, in particular page, if you want this page should not appear in the Google. If you are going through some pages and you are realizing, okay, I don't want this page to appear in the Google. Somehow, some reason, you don't want this page to appear in the Google. If you feel that, like for example, this hello world. Can you see that this is hello world? Do you want this page? Is this your content?
No.
This is a not found page?
No.
Can you see that this is, when I clicked on this page, this is going not found pages. Right? But in Google database, it is one of the page indexed.
Okay.
Google has stored this page as if this is your website. That is an important page, right? So now you have to identify all those not found pages. Make a list of not found pages. That is 404. If Google has indexed this page, means somehow, somewhere this link was present, then only Google has indexed this. Isn't it? Right now the page is not existing, but somehow, somewhere the page was existing, then only Google has crawled it, indexed it.
Okay.
So it might be possible there are few other pages also which you don't want Google to, like now page is not there, even like for example, Hootroot index.php category uncategorize. Let's see this page. So again, this is the one of the category uncategorized in WordPress. This is a default category name. So uncategorized is in WordPress. When you are working with the WordPress, uncategorized is a default category name.
Okay.
So whenever you are doing blog post, and if you are not giving category to that blog post, that post will go to the uncategorized.
Okay.
Right. So do you want this page to be there? This category page should be there or not? You can decide that. I mean to say that using this robot.txt and sitemap, you have the control which page you want to make public and which page you don't want to make public.
Okay.
Right. So there are three things. There are three possibility which sitemap, whichever you want to make public. Public means Google you want it to be in the Google result. This is called SERP. And it's search engine result page. Google result. And robot.txt is the private. Private pages. Private pages means exist on website. It will exist on a website, but not in public. Not in public. So you have any client contract page, or you have some pages, some information which you want to be on your website, which you want to privately send to your visitors, or someone's exclusively asking for that page. So you want to be on that page on the website, but that page is not important to appear in the Google result. That should be included in robot.txt. Right. And there are few pages which is not found pages. 404 not found pages. 404 not found pages. Remove all those pages. Remove or delete that page. So make sure, because Google is storing world's information. Just imagine how much, if Google is storing your website version, so Google is storing that much of information across the globe. So now Google want your help, that help me to decide that which page I should store and which page I should not store. So that they can optimize they have the hard disk. They have the huge number of trillions of hard disks to manage those information. So they want you website, as a website owner, Google want you to help them. Okay, which is important and which is not important.
And here I want to ask you something. Like suppose if I've taken a picture from some other website, so can we come to know if those pictures, the ones we have selected, were free for us to use or not?
Yeah. See, whenever we are copying any kind of content or media, it can be text, it can be images, it can be videos, it can be any media, right? Primarily, Google want you to produce the unique content,
right?
Right. But whenever we are using some other content, if we are giving credit to that content creator, Google is fine with that.
Okay.
If I'm taking some content from Wikipedia and I'm saying that content credit goes to Wikipedia and I'm giving link to the Wikipedia. So in that case, Google know that what is the source of the content. Right. So in the second case, that is all fine. And third thing, if you are using any royalty free content, royalty free images, where the content creator itself is saying that, okay, use the content, no need to give me the credit. So in that cases, it's okay, you need not to worry about that. So if you are buying the images from stock images, or if you are doing the Google searches, let's suppose you have done the Google searches and there you have can you find the advanced search, and you have done the changes, I want to have images which is free to use or share. So in that case, free to use, share and modify, and even commercially. So this is the safest version, because the web content creator is not going to claim anything, like in the IPR, according to the IPR, that intellectual property right. If you are copying the content, Google will give the penalty. That maximum penalty can be that they will reduce the ranking of your website. They will your website will not very much visit. That is the maximum Google can do. Right. But whoever is the owner or creator of the content, they can sue you. They can ask for the compensation. That with what permission you have used my content or images or videos, and that to the commercially. So I have, due to your commercial usage, I have lost this much of money and you have made this much of money. Now compensate me because I'm the creator. So it's, in general, it doesn't happen. It happens only and only when they realize some big companies are copying their content. In general, but it may happen. There is no denying that.
And how can we check? Is there a tool to check?
Yes, you can check. Content wise, you can check it from Copyscape, if you know about the Copyscape.
Okay.
So here you can whatever copy you can want to check, you can check it. For example, I want to check this content. In the free version, you can check only the online content. In the paid version, you can check the even not published content as well.
Okay.
So if it's a free version, whatever URL you can enter, and they will say you, okay, this copy is content copied from Wikipedia. This is targethealth.com. Somewhere they are finding some content here.
So what they are picking on the keywords or what? Sentences,
no,
or how?
Entire line. So whatever is the highlighted one.
Okay. Okay. So I can go to Copyscape and check.
Yes.
And I insert my URL there, and they'll tell me.
Yes, you have to check the page. I have checked your migraine page.
Okay. Okay. Fine. I understood.
Yeah. And if you are asking someone to write content for you, there are so many tools. This is one of the tools. There are so many other tools as well. They will help you to understand that someone has given you the copied content or not copied content.
Original one.
Original.
And media also we can check the same way.
You can also check the media. Okay. That is a paid version. You will find some paid version for that. I will give you the tool name.
Fine.
Okay. So let's understand. I will share that. Just make me a note on WhatsApp. What I have promised to provide you. If possible, you can just make a note, and I will provide you the list of.
Okay, that. Fine.
Right. So let's come to that. Come back to the checklist here, the website optimization checklist. So here you will have proper title. Every page must have a proper title. every video and images must have a proper title, optimized one, right? And you can also, as yesterday I have talked about that your page load should be, this is the optimization checklist, your page load should be less. So how you can check if that number of redirects should be less, or image should be optimized, or images, you can upload the images in the video and somewhere else and then use the link there. So you can embed the video, like if you are producing the video, rather than uploading the video on your server, you can upload the video on YouTube and then embed that video on your website.
Okay.
So that way you can, these are the technical terms. You can ask your developer, make sure my browser caching is on, or make sure my CSS is optimized, or HTML is optimized, or JavaScript is optimized. You should not use inline CSS. So these things, you can just give the checklist and you can ask them whether this is implemented on my website or not.
Okay.
Right. So if at the end result you want to check whether they have done the right work or not, so I'm giving you a tool for that. So the tool is, you can, there are so many tools. One of the important tool I'm going to share with you, tools.pingdom.com. All right. So here you can give your website URL, and there you can check it. Or you want to check it in from Asia, your website must be in Asia. So start the test. Right. So here you can start they will give you the entire analysis. Tools.pingdom, GT metrics. It's GT metrics. This is also one of the speed optimization tool. This is not a speed optimization. They will give you the reason why your website is not, where is the lackness, where you can work. So it's, they will give you the component where you can work.
Okay.
Right. And Google analyze your website. Here you can see that performance grade is 75. Your page size is 5.4 MB. The size should be reduced as less as possible. Right.
Okay. And what should be the size?
So it's 5.4 MB is okay. It's not that bad. It's good. But idea is that you can, as soon as you will start uploading more content, more images, more video, so you have to keep a track on it. It should not increase.
So is there a figure which I can say it should not go more than that?
Ultimate result is this one. Ultimate, we have to focus on this one. Right. So ultimately you have to focus on this one. This load time should not increase.
Okay.
Whatever is the number, you have to decrease. Page size, you have to decrease. Number of requests, you have to decrease. Load time, you have to decrease. So this is now one by one, they will give you the indication. Like whatever is red one, that there is a area of improvement.
Okay.
So you can ask how you can reduce the HTTP request, how you can compress the images GIFs, how you can avoid the URL redirects. So these are things, wherever it's red, you can they can take it urgently and fix it.
Okay.
Whatever is orange, that means that is a warning kind of thing. There is an area of improvement. And whatever is green means you are good to go.
Okay.
Right. So that way, this is one of the tool. This is also one of the tool. There you can go and check. Again, I'm checking your website. And Google uses the page speed tool. Google decide whether your page is good or not. So Google decides with Google page speed. Google page speed. So Google use this tool to check whether your content, whether your website is optimized or not, whether your page speed is up to mark or not, or whatever is the page speed. Google will compare this with the other website. Google has nothing to do with your individual. Google has to compare because thousands and thousands of websites are trying to come in the top. So Google will compare, okay, which website is loading fastest. So that Google will give preference to that website.
Okay.
So this is the tool Google use to understand your health of the website. So here you can see that contentful paint or speed index or largest. So your developer designer can understand it. Majority of the things can be fixed by web designer.
Okay.
So whoever has the skill of HTML, CSS and JavaScript.
Okay.
Whoever has the skill of HTML, CSS and JavaScript, they can measure 90% of the things they can fix for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this thing you can keep in mind. These are the tools you can use. I'm just giving the URL. So at your end, what you have to do, time to time, you can make it a monthly schedule or weekly or bi-monthly schedule. That time to time, you have to go and check your website in these tools.
Okay.
And whatever you are finding, you have to share with, okay, I want this improvement. Why this, last time it was that, why this is now, why speed is increased, why, like you can, because whenever you will start asking for the more feature, they will install more plugins, and more plugins means more load time. Right. So yes, you have to find the balance between the functionality and the load time.
Okay.
Right. So this part you can page load time. Valuable content is most, as I share, the unique content. Try that. At least 60 to 70% of your content should be the unique one. Minimum 60 to 70%. 60 to 70%. Right? And you have to identify your cornerstone pages. Cornerstone pages. So as a website owner, you might not get time to go and test all the pages. So you can identify 4 or 5 at least most important pages, your shop pages, or at least you have to identify the most important basic pages where you are generating the business. So your home page is your cornerstone pages. Your shop page is your cornerstone pages. Your blog is your cornerstone pages. So these are the important pages which you can go, at least if you have to, whenever you are getting time, at least you have to go and check your cornerstone pages. Right. So you have to identify your cornerstone pages, and there, if that you ideally it should be like your content should be 300 characters, 300 words per page. Minimum 300 words content per page. Ideally, it's a normal, I would say. But if you want to compete in the Google, or if you want that your website should be more, then what you have to do, you have to go to the Google and search for whatever keywords you want to come into the Google. So let's suppose you want to come for the herbal remedies for headache. Right. So in that case, these websites, you can see that this is your competitor. This number is your competitor. 65 lakhs 90,000 web pages are competing for it. And just imagine Google is giving this much of result in 1 second. So Google is trying that you should be also give result in within 1 second.
Okay.
Right. So now this is your top competitor. This is your top competitor. This top 10, if leaving that ad part, this is your top competitor. So you have to do little bit of competition analysis. You can do little bit of competition analysis. Actually, initially itself, you can do the little bit of competition analysis. How you are going to do the competition analysis? Whatever factor we have discussed about your website, on those factors you can check your competitors. So whether they have used the keyword in the title or not, just see that. Migraine herbal home remedies for around the world, from around the world. Right. So have you used the keyword here? Migraine herbal home remedies. So their main keyword is migraine herbal home remedies. So their root keyword is migraine herbal home remedies. So can you see that? Migraine herbal home remedies is there in the title, in their URL? So keyword in URL is a factor. Keyword in page title is a factor. Right. Keyword in paragraph heading is a factor.
Okay.
So migraine or headache is semantically related. So if they have migraine here, but somewhere they must have used headache. Go and search that, how many times they have used headache. So here you can see that headache. Can you see that? They have used the headache and they have also used the migraine. So these are the semantically related keywords. How many times they have used it? HEAD. 38 times.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yes.
38 times they have used. And if you have to compete this website, can you see that the kind of content they have produced? Do you want to compete with this website with 300 words? Can you compete with this content with 300 words?
No.
No. So you have to analyze that. If they have produced 2000 word content, you might have to produce 2000 plus word of content for those pages.
Okay.
So this way we have to analyze all the factors we have discussed. All right. So here you can analyze that. I'm just broadly writing here. Otherwise, I have given you the checklist as well. Keyword in URL. Keyword in page title.
Is it possible to check how many words are there on their page?
Yes, you can check that. You can easily check that. Page or word count, right?
Word count.
So you can check that. I will share the tools with you. You can check it with. Just if the word is not coming in my mind.
No problem. You can share it later.
Oh, yeah, you can check that. So here you can every paragraph must have proper heading. You have to use multiple format, media format. So here this is a text as well as images. So this is called media format. You have media vertical, different media verticals. Right. So ideally content in the bullet point or list format. If you're producing the content in the form of bullet point or list format, right, you have to link from one related page to another related page. So here stomach pain, so this is linked with the stomach page. Can you see that? I will click go to the stomach page. Here I can go to the arthritis page. Here I can go to the phytotherapy research. Right. So you have to do that interlinking.
Okay.
Right. On any page, all the important links are available here. So can you see that? If I will go to the caffeine, I can go to all the important content, all the important things are here listed. This is called tag. Ideally, it's nothing but a hashtag of that page. But isn't it a good idea? Is it a user? There are so many ways to do it. It's not the one way. One way is you are hashtagging, means someone will click on the common hopes and they will go to that section of the page. Otherwise, you can simply write the content summary. Here you can write this content summary or content table of content. And all the paragraph heading you can write and give the link. When someone will click, they will go to that section of the page.
Okay.
So if you are writing the content, if your content is research based content, if your content is in the question answer format, let's suppose you are writing 10 questions related to the migraine, 10 questions. So every questions can be hashtagged at the starting of the page.
Okay.
So if they have any specific question, they can directly go to that question and go to that section of the page. Right. So when you are producing content in the length, let's suppose you have less competition, then you need not to do all these things. But you can see that the top website is coming with that much of content, then you have to also apply this one.
Okay.
Right. Second thing, all the important sections are here in the menu. First thing, all the important sections, anyone can navigate from one page to another page from the menu. Second thing, if they are in the migrant section, all the migrant related somewhere here, important things.
Okay.
So there are two things. One is entire website is providing something. Providing the headache or migraine or arthritis or cancer. They're providing so many things. So the main category should be navigatable from one section to another section, from navigation, header navigation, from menu. And when someone is in that particular section, someone is in particular like disease section. So that user have both the option. If they want to change from disease to let's suppose fabric, that should be easy for them. They should navigate from disease to fabric. If they are in the fabric, from fabric to what else? What website? What things? What
Herbs.
Herbs. So if
shop.
Yes. So if it is super easy to navigate from your main category from any page of your website. And when they are on a particular page, when they are on the herb page, so all the pages, page you have to just give me 1 second. Right. So here we can see that important section, it should be super easy to navigate from your main section from any page. And when they are in a particular section, when they are on a herb section, all the herbs is super easy to navigate from one herb to another herb.
Okay.
When they are in the disease, so they are from super easy from navigate from one disease to another disease. When they are in the fabric, it should be super easy from one fabric to another fabric. So like within a section, like herb, all the herb might not be accessible in the disease. All the disease might not be accessible in the herb. But when they are in the herb should be visible. When they are in the disease should be visible. That is called navigation optimization. So as a thumb rule, all the important pages of your website should be 3 clicks away maximum.
Okay.
So in important pages, it should not take more than 3 clicks.
Okay.
If you are giving them buy now option, so your buy now option should be 3 clicks, maximum 3 clicks away.
Okay.
Not more than that.
Fine.
Right. So here the search option, your website must be super, because when they are on the like on the website and you are giving so much of information, so if people is coming with a specific need, they want to search it. So your search function should be, and in Google Analytics, in one session we will see about the Google Analytics. In Google Analytics, you should be able to track that what people are searching on your website.
Okay.
So by default, you are not able to search it till you are not doing a little bit of trick. So because it's, if I'm searching here, let's suppose I'm searching here about the joint pain. Joint pain. So your search function should be super duper good. All the important joint pain, what pages you want to appear. So your search function should be like a good one.
Okay.
Right. So I think we have discussed a lot of things about the page today.
Yeah.
So here keywords we have discussed. We have discussed about the page title, like media optimizations, page load time, and then the content part, then site structure, which I have shared that important page should be visible, important main content should be on the heading, and related should be in the sidebar or somewhere. So that is the structure. Your structured data is crucial. That I will share separately. Structured data means, this is called structured data. So structured data means, let's suppose I'm how to get rid of headache. So are you finding this question answer format? So this is because we have whatever content we are presenting, we have a structured in that way. So we have specifically structured it and give a content to the meaning to the Google. This is question answer, this is rating and reviews, this is recipes, this is, so whatever content we are giving, we have to give the meaning to that content, in which context we have written that content.
Okay.
So rather than Google giving the title URL description, Google give the context according to the context to that content. I will discuss separately about that. But if your developer know about the structure, this data structure, they can apply it.
Okay.
Your website should be HTTPS. That is, especially with the e-commerce, it should be HTTPS.
Okay.
Secure one. Your website should be mobile friendly. Your store should be mobile friendly. If possible, it's optional one, but in the future is the voice search.
Okay.
My son never do the typing search. He always do the voice search. Somehow you have to make your website ready for the voice search as well.
Okay.
If possible, if you are struggling with the content to produce the content, you can invite guest speaker.
Okay.
You can invite other authority to write on your website. Right? All the duplicate pages or all the not found pages, you have to remove. Like you have to keep a check on your page, on your website. There should not be any not found page.
Okay.
If Google is finding those, not clicking here and going to the not found page, that is a bad thing. Before Google find any link which is going to the not found, you have to be proactive enough. Every month, go and check the not found pages on your website.
Okay.
And there is a tool to do that.
Okay.
Right. All the category page should have a proper keyword. All the category, as we have talked about general pages, I mean to say that category page should have also the right keyword.
Okay.
Right. Duplicate content, duplicate pages. How to manage the duplicate content within your website. So you have medicine in 500 ml or 100 ml. So if it is a two different pages, in the two different pages, content is same, but for Google is saying it's for your client, it's two different pages.
Okay.
But for Google, all the content is same. So somehow you can ask your developer designer to manage the duplicate content within your website.
Okay.
So that is called canonical. Means you have to identify. Let's suppose you have 4 duplicate pages. And as per the business requirement, it's required to keep all those page on your website. 90% of the content is same, only 10% changing. Only size is changing, only color is changing, only price is changing, only something is changing, rest of the things are same. So this is the business requirement to keep all those pages for end user. But for Google, it's unmanageable. So you have to identify one preferred page.
Okay. And
then you have to say that, okay, this page is preferred and rest of the page is version of this page. So how to implement that? Using canonical tag.
Okay.
Using canonical tag, you can manage duplicate content within your pages.
Okay. Right.
So I think for today, is it good enough to go?
Yeah, I think too much to understand.
Okay, so you can just revise the video and you make your own checklist for that, and I will too share the checklist with you.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So all this content, some list of the tools, whatever tools I have shared, that I will share the tools with you. I will share the list of the tools, list of the checklist, and this video.
All right. Okay.
Right? If required, we can devote one more session on this website optimization, and then we are done with the website.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Bhavna ji. Bye. Bye.